Gary, cold open question of the week. If you could only drink one beer for the rest of your life, what beer would that be?
Does it have anything? Domestic, craft, or
Any beer, but not one of these chick drinks like a White Claw or anything. It's got to be a beer.
Okay. I guess if I had to choose, it would be the one brewery by my house called Rap. They have a great Hefeweizen. So that I could drink that for the rest of my life.
And that's RAPP. PP.
Yep.
I want to make sure you said Rap.
Yes, Rap.
Okay. And what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight, I have Simply Spiked lemonade. So this one's a strawberry. Then I have it's watermelon, blueberry, and raspberry, I believe, on regular.
That looks refreshing.
It is very refreshing.
Tonight on the Brian Lemon Show, Brian relives Boy Scout Camp, E&E biography, a plotting update, the wife and girls are away on vacation, math camp, the baseball all-star game, and Gary's news of the weird. That seemed very loud today.
Was it?
To me. I couldn't hear myself. So I'm going to apologize ahead of time to the listeners if I am screaming into their ears over the music, or if they don't hear the normal intro. Anyway, I am drinking a Schweppes Zero Sugar Ginger Ale.
Sounds yummy.
I keep it non-alcoholic on this side tonight. Although I might have to go grab a beer tonight because it was 95 degrees here today.
Oh, yeah, it was quite hot here today. I was putting up security cameras around my house and sweat.
Security cameras?
Yeah.
What do you have? Jewels or something now that you're storing there?
Gotta keep this place locked down.
At Chateau McDaniel?
Exactly.
Oh, so anyway, it's 95 degrees today. I had a fan on earlier when we came on before the show started. Apparently it was giving some sort of reverb or echo because I have a fancy mic. So the fan is off and I am now fully glazed in sweat. So
that's how I am.
But we do it for the listeners, Gary, and the viewers. So
exactly.
I apologize if this gets ugly and you just see a old white Batman sweating on your television, computer screens, or however you watch the Brian Lemon Show.
A lot of glisten.
So we're a day late from our typical Tuesday night.
True.
Because I was at Boy Scout camp, which we discussed a little bit last week. I was there. Oh, you're frozen.
No, so are you.
Okay.
But I can hear you.
Okay. We'll just keep moving on then.
Yeah.
This always happens in the beginning of the show.
I know.
So I went to Boy Scout camp Sunday.
Okay.
Slept there Sunday night into Monday. All day Monday. Slept in there Tuesday. We had like a full day of Tuesday, and then we came home last night. Me and Bernie, the 7-year-old. Both of us were wiped. Both of us could not wait to, 1, take a hot shower, and then 2, get into our own beds, in a contained environment, because we were sleeping in like an A-frame canvas covered tent in the Pennsylvania woods in July. And it was, I would almost say it was actually The sleeping was worse this year than last year. So we had a storm Monday evening. It was like it was after dinner, and apparently my sleeping bag at some point during the day got shifted and went off the cot. So the top of the sleeping bag fell off the cot. It was laying like along the side of the cot and the tarp, the canvas out of the tent, and got wet. So Monday night I was sleeping on a steel frame cot. It's a 6 foot. It's got to be a 6 foot cot. I'm 6'2".
Oh.
You add a pillow, I'm probably down another 4 or 5 inches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a sleeping bag that one is kind of hot because again I tend to run warm, and the top part was wet. So under my arms and chest it was wet.
Oh, that's
I could miserable. I could not wait to get home into my own bed.
Oh, I can imagine. Nope.
So, and I'm especially happy I was not there today, because again it was 95 degrees, humidity was atrocious.
Oh, that's crazy.
And to be there after like the third day, like I would have been miserable.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, sir. Nope. Not for me.
So there's aspects I like of it. There's aspects I don't like of it. So anyway, the rest of this week I'm on vacation.
Oh, okay.
Because we had originally planned a vacation, kind of a family outing that got canceled. So Bernie and I ended up going to the Boy Scout camp, and then my wife took Lucy and Ruby to Ocean City.
Okay.
They're there until Friday. So I think we talked about this on the show last week, but I was talking to Jill this morning, and she's like, I think this is the last time I'm coming to the beach. Which I think I had said that last week. Like, I'm done with like beach vacations. I'd rather
the only time I ever go to the beach is if we have family that come down and they want to go to the beach, and then I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. But I usually I'll try to find a beach that has a bar nearby, because that's the only time I go to the beach. But no, I can't. I don't like sitting out in the sand, and it's just I can't. I don't. That's not my thing.
Well, that's what she said. It was just so hot, and I don't think she does. The older she gets, the less she enjoys like the heat.
Well, that's all of us. We're all
I mean, you grow up in Pennsylvania. She's not a warm weather person, really.
Exactly.
She would prefer turtleneck and cider and what have you.
Yeah, some flannel.
So and then she's like, well, we went down like the one night after dinner, because it was cooler and not as. The other thing is she doesn't like crowds anymore. So
I don't either.
She said the beach was real busy, so she didn't want to go. So so I think we can cross off any beach vacations going forward, and we'll just be like two hermits in the woods in a cabin or something.
That's basically our couple of vacations we keep talking about now is Tennessee, like Asheville, North Carolina. So like, nowhere near the water, mountains, things like that. And I'm not a big fan of that either, but it's better than the beach.
We should do a meetup in Nashville, because it's probably halfway, right?
So Asheville.
No, Nashville.
Oh no! Nashville. Well, Nashville's even farther. Nashville, we'd be closer to Knoxville, things like that. Nashville's more west of Tennessee.
Nashville's in Tennessee. It can't be west.
I'm west in Tennessee. That's what I meant to say. West in Tennessee, not west of. Yes, west in Tennessee.
But for for you and I, it might be
Well, no, it might be. Yeah, I'd have to look. Yeah.
halfway.
So, we do have a guest in the waiting room.
Is it your friend Paul?
It is.
All right.
Let him in.
Let him in, and I'll leave the introduction to you. Does he have a camera, or is he just going to be on the phone?
Oh yeah, no, he's got everything.
Oh, cool.
He's set up. So yes, our guest here, Paul McKendry. He is one of my friends down here in Florida. He's also part of our Distracted Dads podcast. So let's welcome Mr. Paul McKendry. Hopefully, we'll see what happens here. Oh, there he comes.
He's got to just unmute his mic.
You're muted. Takes him a little bit.
Yeah.
There he is.
I knew I'd find it.
It's just like the way we start off every day.
Exactly.
Hello, Paul.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I like your roof.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
We installed that a couple years ago.
very nice.
Oh, I didn't realize you guys didn't know each other. I thought we'd met.
We've never met. No.
Yeah.
Paul, Brian, Paul.
Hey, nice.
Now, Paul is your scouting friend, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
That's right.
All right. Well, Paul, I don't know if you heard the first part of the show, but I
I did
am.
not.
Okay, so I'm.
A little bit of an issue trying to get everything all settled. Had to make sure the kids were in bed first.
Got it. Well, I survived 3 days at Boy Scout camp up here in Northeast Pennsylvania. So.
Good job.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit. Gary says you're big into scouting, so tell us a little bit about your background in scouting.
Well, with scouting, started back my older son, who's we're both in Boy Scouts now. My older son's 14. He started as a Tiger. And we were introduced from a friend of his at school. Someone new that he met. And they were like, oh, well, he might be interested. So we went to a joint scouting day, and it worked out. I hear something squeaking behind me. Could be the neighbors. But yeah, everything worked out great, and seemed like something different and interesting to join, and he really took to it. So we worked through with him up through Weeblo 2 into Boy Scouts, and my younger son crossed over actually a year and a half ago. So now both are in Boy Scouts, and I was my younger son's den leader.
Okay.
Through Cub Scouts.
All right. So you have. So my background is no scouting experience at all till last year, when my son. Well, now 2 years ago, I guess, because we're going to our third year. But last year I was the den leader for the Tigers for my son's den. So it's an interesting learning experience.
Yeah, I actually, I'm now an assistant scoutmaster as of a few months ago. I start up as an assistant scoutmaster next month.
Okay, cool. Now, as far as camping goes in Florida,
it's as muggy as you think it is.
I'm picturing that as, the doorstep to hell.
I did the summer camp for the Weeblos 2 years in a row, and it is hot and nasty, and thank God they have pools, and it is a little bit cooler in the water than it is outside.
Yeah. Now, we did the polar bear plunge at our camp on Tuesday morning, so we got up at 6 o'clock. We were all in the pool by 6:30 and jumped in. So it actually felt good, and it was very refreshing.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it that cold?
It was actually, I was back in the pool in the afternoon, and it felt colder in the afternoon. But I think that might have been because the air temperature was a lot warmer than the water in the afternoon than it was in the morning.
Right. We did I did a winter camp with the Boy Scouts a year and a half ago, and they had the polar plunge. But you're talking a winter in Florida,
Okay.
not that cold.
So that's like fall camp for us.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now tell us, so Gary and Paul, tell us a little bit about the Distracted Dads podcast too. Where does that stand with? Oh, and Paul, you have to tell us what you're drinking.
Oh, what am I? I am drinking bubbly.
Ah, man after my own heart. I have ginger ale.
Yes.
I'm the only one drinking, so.
Yeah. No, so with the Distracted Dads podcast, we would usually have a bourbon or something different while we're drinking or while we're speaking, I guess.
Some cigars.
Yeah, cigars. Kind of, it's more of just a laid back, when Gary and another buddy of ours get together, the three of us get together, it's stories like John, the one missing. He and I have been friends since freshman of high school. So we're talking back in 96, 97, and actually 94, 95. So we've had a lot of experiences since then. So he likes to bring up a lot of the old days. You know, we both lived up in Gainesville together. A lot of late nights. I was a manager of a pizza place, and he was one of my drivers. So we worked a lot together there. We work a lot together now. So we have a lot of stories.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like me and you, Gary.
Exactly.
We have a lot of stories we could tell, right?
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
And so, Paul, what do you do now?
It's I wear a lot of hats at where I'm working now. It's a millwork company. We do custom impact rated entry units, front doors. We also do. We have a newer interior door line, which has just blown up in the state of Florida, up through Georgia and South Carolina, and it's just a standard interior doors that you use for residential or commercial. And then we also do crown molding, baseboard, and we run the molding. We're the manufacturer. So we get the rough lumber in, and we mill it, and then ship it out to lumber yards, basically.
Okay, interesting. So now, let me ask you, as far as the economy goes, because I saw a report today, I guess like new house construction is down. But if you're doing like remodels, your business is probably picking up, correct?
I will say we haven't had a slowdown since COVID started. And it's only getting worse. We have, there's high rises that are being built and our doors are going in them. A lot of our projects are multi-million-dollar homes or big sky rises, condo buildings. In the past, we had done celebrity homes, both here and in the Caribbean. And I thought we don't know about this when we're making it. We find out, we'll get a picture of the front door or something and be like, notice that it was Billy Joel's house. Or who bought Tiger Woods' house over in Orlando? It was another golfer.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
I can't remember.
Shoot, yeah.
Can't remember his name off the top of my head.
No, and in Florida here, that's all we're doing. They're constantly just building new apartment complexes and things. So it's just, yeah. So I can see why you're still making.
Oh yeah,
still doing fine.
There's projects that are scheduled for later this year, and they're huge projects, like 600 plus doors for one order, which is, we're putting out about 180 doors a day. And this system that we have, it's an assembly line, but they're still hand built.
It's interesting. It's something like, me, I would never think of like front door construction or door construction, but it's a whole kind of niche industry and business that's really taking off.
There's a few competitors here in Florida. that actually one competitor that makes a cheap door, but it's a full MDF door. And you get it wet, or you bump it hard enough, it puts a dent in it. You get it wet, it swells up. And over time, those doors have had issues with glue that puts the MDF together. It starts delaminating. Little issues with swelling over time. And I've heard a lot of really negative things about that. So people look at ours. Ours are a style and rail configuration. And, it's a well-made door. It really is.
Cool. Now, you said you went to school up in Gainesville?
Briefly. I ended up working more than I went to school, so I started working. It was after I married, I had an opportunity to go back to school, and I went to St. Pete College and finished my degree here.
All right. Are you a Gators fan still? Or are you a Gators fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let me zoom in. You might see it's the Florida hat.
I see it. I just want to make sure. I didn't want to jump to any conclusions there. So, I had actually been to the Swamp for a football game when I was 12. I went with my uncle, because my uncle graduated from the University of Florida.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So maybe I'll post that picture, because it's very embarrassing to my brother, on the Facebook page. Let me ask you, with kind of the reconfiguration of college football, because it'll affect Florida at some point. What do you think of all the super conferences coming together?
I am not the one to ask that, and the reason why is with work and scouts, I really have not had time to keep an eye and listen in on what's going on. Believe it or not, my wife would be the person to ask about that. She's the one that jumps up and down on the sofa while we're watching a football game.
Okay. No taken. So you spend a lot of your time then with the scouts?
I have. Actually, over the last year and a half, my wife has been the committee chair. Actually, she's been doing it for 7 years. She was a committee chair for Cub Scouts as well. And she moved into the Boy Scout rank for committee chair. And that took a lot of her time, so I stepped away. And she's gotten to a point where she's ready to step back, and I'm going to jump in as an assistant, because they're looking for some help with the Scoutmasters. So, and I know the current Scoutmaster only has about a year left. He was saying that he's thinking about taking a step back himself. So I'm jumping in now, and who knows, could be a year from now, and I might be a Scoutmaster. So.
All right.
Cool.
Well, speaking of like house items, front doors, the plumber came this past week.
Oh,
my
he
house.
finally came?
He finally came. So the kitchen sink got fixed. Brand new faucet handles. We even got one of the little spray things.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Spray attachments. He fixed the bathroom sink. The handle on it is fixed, so it stops running.
Nice.
He fixed the, I guess there's some sort of spring in the handles of the bathroom sink.
Mm-hmm.
Fixed those, so that doesn't leak anymore. He I guess he snaked the second floor bathroom toilet, which fixed it for about 3 days, but then it's not working again correctly. So he does have to come back for the outdoor faucet.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's gonna be like a full day project. He told me to call him when I got back from camp, but I'm not calling him to come back to work in 95-degree heat. That's just cruel and unusual. So,
Mm-hmm.
so we have progress in the plumbing department, so that's always a good thing.
I've got some stuff in electrical right now, because I realized today I know a lot of people, but I don't know a really good electrician. So I try to do it, and I have my wife plugged in a Nintendo Switch to one of the outlets, and it blew 4 outlets and 3 light switches.
Oh, geez.
Jeez.
And I went and checked all the breakers. Everything's good. So I went up into the attic earlier tonight, sweating my butt off because it is ridiculously hot up there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Looking around, I couldn't find where a junction box would be. I see where the cables are going, but I couldn't find where they're connected to. And everything I tested up there had, power to it, but the plug sockets down here don't, and it boggles me.
Yeah, so that's the one thing I don't like to mess with I'll change out a ceiling fan or a light every once in a while, but that's about as far as I go. I'm not gonna add, because like Colin's bedroom, his ceiling fan they never wired, so it's plugged in to the wall, but it's got like the chain that goes across the ceiling down to the thing. And we want to get him a new fan, but I'm like I can't. I'm like, we need to find someone. I just said to her the other day, I'm like, we need to find an electrician. Because I know a plumber, but I don't know any electricians down here. So I'm like, I don't want to attempt that myself. That's just not something I want to do.
That seems to be, to me, like one of the most important lessons in life is like to befriend an electrician, a plumber,
Now,
and a lawyer.
Shannon's cousin is a union electrician up there in Pennsylvania, but actually I tried to say something the other day because I guess he did call her saying that he was going to be coming down here in a few months or something like that for vacation. And I said the one day, I'm like, man, if we could find just a good electrician, maybe we'd wire that stuff. But she wasn't catching what I was trying to say. I knew he was coming down, so I'm hoping that when he comes down, because she was already like, oh, well, you can stay here. I'm like, yeah, you can stay here. You're going to have to just rewire this room so I can put it.
Didn't work.
Exactly.
My father-in-law, he was handy. Like he worked in HVAC, so he was he worked with sheet metal. And he was handy, like he could do a lot of stuff, but it just wasn't always like expert.
Yeah.
And I remember when he was redoing the basement, he was putting in like light switches, and he didn't really yell much. And all of a sudden we'll just hear like this like ball sound, and then he yells like shit. He's just yelling. And then you hear it like a few seconds later, and he yells again. So I'm like up at the top of the steps. I'm like, "Are you all right?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm just electrocuting myself." It's like
they did that to me. See, now my father-in-law was the same way. My father-in-law was great. Like he knew how to change everything, do all this stuff. It was great having him around. He changed out all of our because he had those off-colored like plugs and things like that, so he changed everything to the white ones that we bought. I just remember the one time I was sitting in here trying to do the ceiling fan, and him and Bloom were sitting there, and they flicked the switch on me while I was doing that and shocked the hell out of me.
Did they do it on purpose?
Yes, they did. Yeah, they did. Shocked the hell, and then that was their biggest joke after that.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh, well, I'm not. That's why I don't like to do electricity. I don't like to do plumbing either, because like I told you the other day, when I tried to unscrew the thing and forgot to turn the water off.
Right.
Water blowing everywhere. I did Wi-Fi this week. I set up a new Wi-Fi system. I was able to do that. I set up the new outside cameras that I did today. I was like, so I could do that. Simple stuff. But major projects, I'm not a big fan of. I'd rather hire someone.
I think the only thing that we don't do is electrical. We did the ceiling that you see behind. We put new fans out here, and that's just. I don't even think I turned the power off when I changed those out. Worked out, and I'm still here, and it worked.
Actually, well, I never when I change out my ceiling fans or my lighting, I never turn. I just make sure the light switch is off, but I don't actually turn like the power off. Yeah. I'm like, whatever. As long as I don't touch wires, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
But
I'd be there with
they never turn into it always seems like a simple project, and then I start doing it, and then there's a lot of choice words and screaming, and like today I was soaked. I was just sweating so bad, and all I was doing was screwing in little things up on top of my soffit for the cameras, and I still was having a problem with it. I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I hate doing stuff around this house.
I went out today to put 2 towels and a blanket, our stuff from the camp, out on the clothesline today. Mm-hmm. And when I came back in the house, I was like, drenched in sweat. I went upstairs to get the fan just to like cool me off. So like, I couldn't imagine being in Florida again with that heat.
But when I was setting everything up to get my computer on and everything, my wife came out and she's like, "Why are you doing it out here?" I was like, "Well, I could do it inside, but some of the lights are out where I would sit, so it's going to be kind of dark. This is well lit." And she's like, "No, you're going to be sweating by the time you come in and you just took a shower." I was like, "I think with the fans on, it'll be enough air circulation, so I'm not that moist when I go inside."
I would think too, but I'm still just the other day when I put the new lights up out on my back patio here too.
Yeah, I was going to say, are those the lights behind you?
Yeah, I was dying out here. I was like, "Ugh, this is ridiculous." Because I had to have all the electricity. I couldn't have the fans running that I have out here because I had to have every power out when I was putting them up. So I'm out here sweating, putting these up too. And I'm like, why am I doing all this stuff in the summertime? I'm like, this should be like the 2 months where it's cold doing this stuff.
Yeah, like all your home improvements should be done like December, January, and February.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I stopped doing the grass now. I hire someone to come out and do it because I'm like, oh,
No, I still make the kids do it.
Like,
or if we argue enough, I'll go out there and do it.
Paul, are you a wrestling fan? Pro wrestling fan at all?
Nope. I don't watch much TV, and this isn't the first time I've had this conversation. It's when I come home, I kind of veg out if there's projects around the house. I'm the kind of guy that if somebody needs help with something, I'll come and help them. Yeah. But yeah, when I come home, I kind of veg out and hang out with kids, and usually I'm not home until 7, 8 o'clock at night, and I eat dinner, and that's kind of it. And I'm toast by the time I get home. So, and then on the weekends, it's either scouts or there's Eagle projects every couple weekends, especially during the school year. So there's a lot of car washes and camping trips, and it just takes up a lot of time. So I kind of, for right now, it's been I just pay attention to the family and whatever needs to get done around the house.
There was a lot of drinking this weekend, though.
There was. There is time for celebration. Me, of course.
Yeah.
Everyone must celebrate me.
Yeah.
Were you guys out this weekend?
Uh-huh.
Yes, my birthday was Monday, so we went out Thursday night, and then we went out Friday night, and then we went out Saturday night, and then couldn't get out of bed on Sunday.
There you go. Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah,
no, we had some good times.
We did. This weekend was good.
Yeah.
I double partied on Saturday because I had another birthday I went to in the afternoon. So yeah, me and Shannon were out from noon on Saturday till about midnight on Saturday. So, and she survived, and actually she woke up the next day too. So it was surprising.
She woke up the next day.
Yeah.
It's always nice to wake up the next day after.
She had because she had 2 nights of drink. She went out Friday night too. So
she went out Friday night. Luckily, she forgot some of the stuff that happened Friday night.
Yeah, she did. She was well lit up on Friday. She was.
Oh boy!
Like the good old days. Yeah, she was actually pretty good on Saturday and Sunday. I was surprised she made it out Saturday morning when we were going out with our friends because of Friday night, and I was like, I didn't know she was just going to make it or not, but she was a trooper.
So you started at 12 o'clock on Saturday?
Yes. Yeah, we went over. Our friend, my other guy I used to work with, Chad Simon. It was his birthday the week before, but we were away, so we went out Saturday afternoon. We went down Channel Side for a little bit, and then we were in Ybor, and we were there. We were with them till about 6, from like noon till 6, and then they went home because his parents were watching their child, so they had to get home. And then me and her drove back over here and went out with these guys, Paul and his wife, and our friend John and his wife. Stayed out till about midnight. Actually, I think it was a little after midnight by the time we got home.
Yeah, it was. That was earlier than the night before.
Yeah, it was
Friday night. Yeah, Friday night. I think we got home at like 1:30, I think.
Yeah, because
Was it
Friday.
No, that was Thursday night. Thursday.
Oh no,
night,
yeah, no, Thursday.
We didn't get. Yeah, I didn't get home until 1:15, 1:30.
Yeah, Friday. Oh no, yeah. Well, Friday, me and her left a little bit earlier because she was like, "We gotta go." I'm like, "All right." So
I know we left just maybe a half hour after you did.
okay.
Maybe. Good time.
The reason I was asking about pro wrestling is because this week I watched on A&E. They have a new biography series, and I watched the first 2 episodes, which were about The Undertaker and Goldberg. So I know, Paul, even if you don't watch wrestling, you have to know who The Undertaker is.
I actually, Hulk Hogan lives around here. So, which I have a funny story. I bumped into him not too long ago.
Okay.
My wife and I decided we bought electric scooters. And we went down to Clearwater Beach because my boys have these things called one wheels. It's almost like a surfboard with a big wheel in the middle. And the way you tilt is which direction you're going to go. And you got to just balance yourself and stay up. And these things go like 25 miles an hour. And all you have is this little wheel in the center.
Mm-hmm.
So to keep up with them, because we would ride bikes and try to keep up with them on different trails that are around here, we decided we're going to go get electric scooters. So we go down, and we found 2, and they put them together for us right there. And I grabbed mine, and I'm taking it out to my truck to go put it in. I come around the corner. Hogan has Hogan's Beach on Clearwater Beach is like a surf shop or store right on the beach. And he goes out there sometimes. So I come around the corner into the parking lot, and I recognized who it was. But I've seen him before. I've actually met him before. So I come around the corner and stop right up next to my truck, which is only 2 cars away from him. I said, "Hey, how's it going?" He goes, "What's up, brother? You got where's your pink helmet?" I wasn't wearing a helmet at the time. I was like, I asked him for one, but it's on back order, so I'm waiting. and he's like, "Oh, well, I used to wear a pink helmet when I rode my Harley." And me thinking, I was like, convinced myself that, man, I think I saw a picture like that. And I said that to him. He's like, "No, I'm just messing with you, brother." And then my 14-year-old comes up, walks up next to me, and he's like, "Who's this guy?" I was like, "Yo, you don't know."
Oh, boy.
So I said, this is Hulk Hogan. And he's like, "Hey, hi, how's it going?" And then as soon as we got into the truck, I had to explain who he was.
Yeah.
Now, did you show him like clips of Hulk Hogan?
Oh yeah. We went through clips and all kinds of stuff about him. So.
Yeah, I was a Hulkamaniac, from way back. So that's cool. That's a funny story. I like that.
I actually had when I was in, I want to say 4th grade, I lived in Levittown, Pennsylvania, and he did. I believe it was some promotional thing where they had some kind of a ring set up in a parking lot, and I got a hat signed by him, which I do not have today, which would still be kind of cool, but I had lost it at school like a week later, but it left like this indent in my head, like that in my brain, that I lost this thing. It was that valuable to me, and I still remember it to this day.
And then you meet him how many years later, and you're still talking about headwear.
Exactly. Yeah.
See, if you had the pink helmet, you could have had him sign that.
I know. I should have.
Next time they do like a meet and greet or something, show up with the pink helmet and be like, "Would you sign my pink helmet for me?"
That's come up from a few people. They're like, you should do that, because I guess he shows up. He has a house nearby, and he shows up to this one little strip mall occasionally. So I'm sure I'd see him again because we go over there sometime.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm sure he pops up in some of the, well, I don't know if he comes to these Comic-Cons. I know normally the only two people that are usually at the one Tampa Comic-Con is the Nasty Boys. They're always there.
Mm-hmm.
Always. But that'd be cool.
Yeah. Gary, did you watch the All-Star game last night?
I did not. I actually forgot everything was going when we were out. I was out Monday because Paul's birthday. We were up. He plays pool, so we were up there for his pool league, and I forgot that even the home run derby was on. I was like, oh man, I'm like, usually I'll sit around and watch this, and so I didn't even get to really watch any of that. I seen some clips and stuff because I seen they all had different, like they all had like matching uniforms this time or something like that, and
yeah,
they were all in like these weird. It's weird because some of the colors for like the AL, they look like they were like this blue color, but then when I see in a picture, it was like a dark gray. So, but no, I didn't watch any of it. I don't even know who won. I meant to look to see who won, but I never looked to who won.
the American League.
Did they?
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I just saw that they won. Did Colin watch it?
Who knows? Probably not. Colin's still not home. Colin's still over in Jupiter.
Oh, he's
we never got him yet, so I'm still debating. So no, we're supposed to be leaving Friday to go back over there. So, but I doubt he watched it. I think they had people over. They were in the pool and stuff like that. So he's been with that random stuff. So
random stuff. All right. Yeah, I didn't watch it either.
yeah, it's All Stars. I don't watch any of that stuff. Like I don't watch the hockey All Star. I don't watch the Pro Bowl anymore. I don't watch any of the NBA. It's kind of I don't like the home run derby. I like watching for some. I don't know what. I just like watching that. They made it more fun to watch, I guess. But all the rest of the stuff I don't watch.
Now, Paul, are you a sports fan at all? Like, do you follow any teams particularly?
It's during college football. I'll follow the SEC, and that's because a lot of my friends all follow that. So I get to scoop on what's going on every day. I'll talk with somebody that's like, "Oh, did you watch the game last night?" And then they'll fill me in on all of it. It's usually following the Gators. That's kind of our thing.
Yeah, I stopped watching football probably about 6 years ago, but then like the last year or so, I started kind of getting into it because I was like you. I was working with guys who were watching it, so they would talk about it. So I would, pick up pieces here and there, and then I've kind of been watching the football playoffs the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Following.
Yeah,
But,
well, I'll catch more of those for the playoffs. I'll watch a couple of the Bucks games. I'll watch for hockey, watching the Lightning games, and usually a lot of people, especially hockey right now. I mean, that's pretty huge. Almost getting the Stanley Cup again. So, yeah, everybody talks about it. Everybody's watching it. Everybody wants to go to the games.
Yeah, everyone jokes that hockey in Florida, blah blah, but it's big down here.
Yeah, it really is. Really is. Yeah. Even though I don't watch it, I kind of keep up with it.
Outkick, one of the websites I read on a daily basis, the one columnist, Joe Kinsey, was talking about kind of like, as we get older, kind of like, and kind of the players we watched growing up retiring, kind of like how you keep up or stay with the game. Like I watch a lot less sports than I did growing up and even into my early to mid 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there any way you guys kind of?
I still watch my Sunday football. I still watch the NFL on Sunday. College, I'll watch the Penn State game, and then if there's like a really decent, like good game that's gonna be on, like maybe that night, I might put it on. But I'm not really. Baseball, I'm like, I don't really watch much of it. I'll wait till like maybe the World Series and to see who's in it. If the Rays are in it, then I kind of keep track or whatever. I don't mind going to the games. I like going. I just watching them is a different story. And same thing hockey. Like hockey, I keep track of it. I don't watch every Lightning game.
Mm-hmm.
I watched like all their like in the playoff games and everything, and a lot of those games when we were out, they were playing. So when we're sitting at the bar, it's on. So you're just sitting there watching it. But I don't religiously watch like all 80 some games they play. And I'm like, I don't have time for any of that stuff. So in basketball, the only time I really pay attention to basketball is March Madness, and that's if I'm doing like a bracket, which I haven't done the last like 2 years. I've kind of got away from that too. So
That brings up one more thing I want to talk to you about, Gary.
yes.
There's this thing called the Gauntlet. It's a football like cool wagering thing.
Okay.
So you need 8 guys or girls or whatever, and then you select 4 teams each, but you bid on them. Okay, so say you go first, and you want to pick the Rams. Oh, and you get $100 to bid on the teams. So say you open the bid. I'm going to bid $32 for the Rams, and then Paul bids $35.
Okay.
And then I bid $38, and then no one else takes them. I get the Rams for $38. Leaves me $62. Is that right, Gary?
Yes.
The math teacher?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So then I have the $62 to pick my other 3 teams.
Okay.
And you always have to have at least $1 left for the 4th team.
Okay.
Okay? So after everyone bids on the teams, you have 4 teams, and you have those 4 teams for the season, and you compile their record. And whoever has the most wins the league.
Okay.
So if everyone put in like $100, it would be, you'd probably get the second place finish or something. But, we could do like 500, 200, and 100.
That's interesting. I like that.
So I was thinking maybe getting some of the guys from like the old fantasy football league, because I talked to Chuck this week, and I know you have some friends in Florida like Paul, John. Yeah. If they wanted to, we could maybe do a auction on Zoom or something and get that started.
Yeah, we could do that. I like that.
So, and then it's not like fantasy where you have to watch the waiver wire and keep up with injuries, and
it's wins, losses.
You're done.
Really, it's wins. It's just as long as your team's winning. I like that.
And then
I might be interested in that. Yeah.
And if first and second has the same amount of victories, it goes to whoever's first team has the most victories.
So you would go off of end of season though, or like not playoffs, just
regular season.
18 game, or what is it? 18 games now or 17 games now? I forget what the heck they changed it to now. Okay. No, I like that. I'm in.
All right, we'll send some more information about that. But I want to bring that up.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be fun. All right, Gary, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So, Paul, if you're not aware, every week Gary does his news of the weird.
Well, he did mention that.
Okay, so we do it toward the end of the show. So it is now time, Gary.
All right. Let's hit share. And let's go there and there. Play.
Now time for news of the weird with your host, Gary McDaniel.
Yes. All right. So
What do you got for us this week, Gary?
I have good stuff. So, greetings, fellow pros. Oh, wait, sorry. My glasses on. A sign war between Missouri McDonald's and a nearby Dairy Queen is going viral, with other neighboring businesses firing their own shots. The marquee melee began last week when the sign outside the Marshfield McDonald's was changed to read, "Hey DQ, want to have a sign war?" The neighboring DQ soon accepted the challenge with the message, "We would, but we're too busy making ice cream." A back and forth followed, with the eateries trading barbs between a swipe at McDonald's infamously off-broken ice cream machines. Marshfield is such a community. We're all like family here. Randy Bryant, the local director of operations for McDonald's, told KOLR TV. Mario on our team had a great idea to get this all started, he said. It's hot. The world is throwing everyone challenges and negativity, so we all found a way to laugh and have fun in the community. Photos of the warning signs were posted in Facebook to the Marshfield area Chambers of Commerce, and soon other nearby businesses joined in the war of words. Ice cream machine broken. We have a loan for that. The electronic sign at Harvest Bank read this week. Wendy's, a chain famous for its acid tongue Twitter account, fired its own salvo at McDonald's. Hot and crispy fries don't arch. Eve Matheny Hammer Enterprises, director of brand marketing, gave the Marshfield Wendy's clearance to join the fray. People want to laugh and chuckle about things like that, so I think people are just craving the right now, Matheny told the Springfield newsletter. All right, and then we have man uses his nose.
Wait, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about that McDonald's ice cream.
Go ahead. Yeah, go for it. It is annoying.
Why is it always broken?
I don't know. Because everywhere. Because even when I go and Colin's like, I want a milkshake, and I'm like, hey, can I get a vanilla milkshake? Our milkshake machine's not working. I'm like, seriously? I'm like, do you guys not have? I mean, come on.
I remember one night I took Joey to a basketball game at O'Hara. Mm-hmm. So we were hot, even though it was like January or February. So I'm like, oh, let's go get a shake. We go through the drive-through, get to the speaker, and they're like, oh, our machine's down. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. We drive up to the one in Dixon City by the old Walmart.
Yeah.
Go in there. Oh, the machine's down. Both machines are down. In January, February.
And 2 different places. That's crazy.
Do you have any other places local to you guys that are like always out of something, or notorious for like not being around?
Our McDonald's is always, their stuff is always down. Actually, Dunkin'. For some reason, every time I go to 3 different ones I go to around here, and either they don't have the extra large cups, or the one day they didn't have chocolate milk. The guy's like, well, I can make you a chocolate milk. I'm like, it was an extra. I want an extra large hot coffee. And then they'll have the sign up for the certain flavors, and I'm like, oh no, we don't have that one. I'm like, all right, give me it. Oh, nope, we're out of that one too. I'm like,
but I had gone there and they were out of donuts. Like the certain donuts, just the chocolate glaze. My younger son really likes chocolate glaze with sprinkles on it, and they were out.
They the strawberry frosted, the one day they didn't have that. They didn't have the blueberry cake. Blueberry cake. I'm like, that's one of your main ones you should always have. But yeah, no, extra large cups. Not an extra large cup. I'm like, seriously?
The night of the Floyd Mayweather and who's the Irish guy? Conor McGregor fight.
Mm-hmm.
I went over to Jeremy's, my friend Jeremy's house to watch the fight. And we've gone over there for like WrestleMania, a Super Bowl, and he always orders this particular pizza. So we were like hyped because we're like, oh, we're going to have, that pizza, like, because it's, big fight night. He calls, they're out of pizza dough. Now, this was a few years ago. This is before all the pandemic stuff. Like, the biggest fight of probably the last 10, 15 years, you call a pizza place and they're like, we're out of pizza dough. And it was like before the fight even started. Like, unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy. I ran a pizza place for a while, and we always had enough dough. It just might have been really cold and really hard to slap out, but we always had.
But you still had
dough, yeah. And now I'm fighting 2 rotator cuff tears because of it.
Oh, so you must actually.
Yes, that's weird. We spun it, yeah, and slapped it out. That's 20 years later, I'm feeling it.
I used to work. What's happening?
Are you all right?
Hold on a second.
There's a little bit of feedback there for some reason.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right. Next story, Gary.
All right. I'm gonna jump down. I'm skipping the one. I'm going right to this one. So Idaho man recaptures hot dog throwing record. An Idaho man enlisted the help of colleagues at a work conference to recapture the Guinness World Record for longest throw and catch of a hot dog into a bun. David Rush, who has broken nearly 250 Guinness World Records to promote STEM education, originally held a record in 2019 when Jake Smith threw a hot dog 105 feet to where Rush caught it in a bun. The record was broken twice in the meantime, with the most recent title sitting at 156 feet 2 inches. Rush enlisted the help of colleagues at the Cradle Point Sales Summit in Boise to make several attempts to recapturing the record. Rush said multiple attempts over the course of multiple days ended with Russell Phillips throwing a hot dog 167 feet and 5 inches to where Rush caught it in the bun. The record was beaten by more than 10 feet. That, my friend. My end? What is happening?
Something's going on.
I lost
my volume is like going down.
I lost my hold on.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay.
All right. And that is once I get my situations fixed here. That is to the weird for today. All right, we're good.
All right. So it's interesting that you chose a world record with someone catching a hot dog in their buns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it is impressive.
165 feet.
Now, Gary, let me ask you: if you had to set a Guinness World Record, what do you think yours? What do you think you would go for? Like, what would be your niche Guinness World Record? What are you really good at?
Oh man.
And Paul, I'm going to ask you this one too.
Yeah, I know. That's what I started thinking.
Man, I don't really have anything. I mean, I could drink a ton of high noons, but I don't know if I could drink a whole bunch of them. I mean, I know I could drink a whole bunch, but I mean, I don't know if I could drink like a world record. But I don't Man, I don't really have anything that I am really good at. Like
What
something
about,
like
like,
that.
what about like the number of sneezes during 18 holes of golf or something?
Oh, geez. Then yeah, then I'd hold that record. If I don't take my allergy pills, then yeah. I mean, yeah. How many times can I not breathe in a 18-hole golf course because I'm sneezing so much? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Verge of death. Yeah. I would win that one. But yeah, no, I don't. I got nothing.
No, I think mine would be, how many times I can get my wife to roll her eyes at something I've said.
That's a good one. I like that. Yeah. Mine just walks away.
The one hole where you you flub it right into like the marshy area, and then you're hitting out of it, and you're just sniffling and sneezing.
Oh yeah.
You probably sneeze like 18 times.
Oh yeah. No, that's what I said. I'm like, if I don't take my multiple pills, it's yeah. Then I just
John hit the golf ball into a squirrel up in a tree. And then the squirrel fell out of the tree, and the ball fell out of the tree, and then the squirrel, it looked dead, but it flipped over and ran away.
Do you know how many balls I've lost in these weird palm trees in Florida?
Like in the tree?
Yeah, like it would go and it would never come back out.
Oh,
because like they have those they're almost like almost looks like a pineapple, like those pineapple palms. They must get stuck up inside the thing. So like I would hit the thing and it would just just stay in the tree. It's ridiculous. Like that time when we were playing up there and I lost my ball in the one patch of snow that was up in Pennsylvania.
I remember that round. Yeah.
Pine Hills. One patch of snow and I find it. Couldn't find my ball. Ridiculous.
We had another time that a squirrel tried to fight us. I think you were there for that one. Too.
Yeah, that was
Really?
the
We were by the bathroom. Said, was it Chi-Chi's?
yes, it was those weird those fox squirrels or whatever they are. They're
Yeah. The thing comes up and stands up on its legs and ready to box us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were sitting in the golf cart. I think it was just standing there, wouldn't let us go by the ball. It was just standing there, and I was like, okay, we're gonna be attacked by a fox squirrel.
Is it bigger than a normal squirrel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's almost like the size of a cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're huge, big ears
And
and everything.
what shocked us all was when it stood up. It was like, I'll box you right now. We were like,
So
we'll
on
wait a
his
couple
back,
seconds there.
on his back legs, arms up, and it's like we're like, oh.
Are they prevalent in Florida? I don't remember ever seeing one when I was there.
I've only ever seen them at that one.
Yeah, the golf course.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. Yeah. But yeah, they were everywhere.
Probably mad because he kept hitting the golf ball into its home.
Yeah, probably. Most likely. That's all I ever hit. I find all water and trees, no matter how I play. It could be a wide open fairway, and I'll still find a patch of water or some sort of tree.
It's amazing. You'll be at a hole where it's like maybe the first 50 yards, you're hitting over water, but it's like just the first 150 yards, and you will plant your tee shot in that water.
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
Always.
Unbelievable.
Always.
60% of the time, all the time.
Yep. Oh, Lord. All right, good times. You went out again. Can't hear you again. Your volume. Can't hear you. Your mic's down again. We got to update your laptop.
Now I can hear somebody.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I recorded the how charts with my friend Chuck Shilkin on Saturday.
Right. How'd that go?
Very good. Chuck was having some issues. Apparently, he had to move out of his don't know if he lives in I think he lives in like a condo. He lives in like Los Angeles, Southern California. Something with his water heater. He had to move out of his house May 2nd, and he is still not living in his house. So he's been living in hotel rooms with his wife and his son for 2.5 months. And we were set to record at 7 o'clock my time. So I texted him like at 6:50. I'm like, I'm ready if you want to get started. And he's like, give me 10, 15 minutes. We had to check into a new hotel room, and we're waiting for the person at the desk. So we were recording it while he was like getting settled into his new hotel room. But
that sounds fun.
it was an interesting. So just to fill Paul and other listeners into the house charts, my friend made his own like top 40 countdown from 1982 to 1992. And he saved them all, and now he's doing a podcast where he goes through like the top 20 songs from a particular time and year. So we did the week of, I think, August 21st through the 25th in 1987.
Mm.
It was very interesting. I'm not going to give away any spoilers to tell you what it is, because the other thing you could go
Fix your Wi-Fi.
and research the Billboard Top 100 from that week. Gary, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Gary? Can you hear me?
Now we can't. Yeah.
Now, yes. It was really.
Gary, can you hear me?
Yeah, you were. Now you're frozen again.
Yeah,
You know what I think?
We need to get you better
Am I frozen
Wi-Fi.
again?
Yeah, we need to get you a better Wi-Fi system in your place. That's what we need.
yeah, there you go.
You're moving, but now there's no sound again.
Now you're no sound.
You guys can hear me now?
Yep.
Can you hear me now?
All right, go ahead.
Yes.
You know what I think it is Bernie, he's still up, and he is watching probably YouTube, and I think that drained the Wi-Fi.
It does all the
Streaming,
time.
yep.
So I don't know what you guys heard. So anyway, 1987, the number one song sounds nothing like all the other songs on the chart, but it's like a timeless song. There's one Michael Jackson song on the chart.
I seen that when I looked it up last week.
It's the number 20 song that week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was an interesting, I guess it was an interesting time for music because a lot of different styles, probably more varied styles than what we have today.
Well, yeah, when I looked it up last week, the 1987, there was a bunch of Michael Jackson. There was some looked like some Whitney Houston was on there. There was a whole bunch of randoms. I'm like, ooh. I was like, all right, this is gonna be a good year to do. So
yeah, so I'm assuming he edits his podcast, so it'll take him probably a week or so to get it up and running, I'd imagine.
okay. We don't have time for that. We just throw this junk up.
Yeah.
Where we have no sound.
No sound again.
Bernie, stop watching YouTube. Oh, wait.
Now I hear you.
I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, and Chuck was calling me the podcast pioneer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember, Gary? We had him on the podcast.
I do. I remember that. Yeah.
And he said that was the first time he had heard of a podcast.
Yeah.
And now here he is years later with his own podcast.
Exactly.
So when that does post, I will share it on the Brian Lennon Show Facebook page. And
check it out.
yeah. And then I did hear from the doctor, Greg Novak,
I seen that. Yes.
who we mentioned in the first episode, the relaunch. He was on his way to work today and figured he would listen to our show because it's been posting on Wednesday mornings.
But it wasn't there.
And it wasn't there, so he sent me a text. He goes, I didn't see the new episode up. Hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
So we at least have one faithful listener who noticed we didn't post something. But
That's good.
I explained I was at Boy Scout camp, so we'll be delayed a day this week, and then back to our normal schedule program.
Sidney's ready to get back on again. Join us.
Yes.
Join us for an episode.
So we'll get him up. I thought he would be another fun one to have in the gauntlet. Challenge.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
Of course, you know who he's going with. So. Which he could have. He could have them for whatever price he wants them for. He could.
Well, that's the other thing too, is who people's favorite teams are, so you could almost like bid against them to
exactly make them jack up all their money. Uh-huh.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So, anything else you guys want to go over before we close shop for the night?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just happy I was able to get on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Love to have you on again.
Definitely.
Exactly. And then when we get ours running, we'll have you on.
I was going to say, get the.
We have a couple episodes, and I was trying to edit them, and I don't have time to do that. So, as I was saying a few weeks ago, I was like, we just need to sit there and record, and I'm just going to post it.
Yep.
So we actually have quite a few episodes that are already recorded. There's a lot of dead time in those episodes because I think there's one where John was trying to move around to a new position.
Well, yeah.
Sitting there, and then he ran into a spider or something, and there's some comic relief from that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Didn't know he didn't have that big of an issue with spiders.
Oh, yeah. Because I think he started inside, then he went outside because he was going to smoke a cigar and didn't realize there was spiders there. And it was quite amusing.
Yeah. My 12-year-old, we were on. We took a trip to Salt Lake City, and this has been our year for adventure trips. So flew out to Salt Lake City and drove to the Moab Arches and then Zion National Park, and flew out of Las Vegas. Ended up doing like 1,123 miles of driving. That's what I drove for that week.
Wow.
But come to find out, my younger son's sitting there and he's listening to his phone music while we're walking around and checking stuff out. And I hear him kind of giggling a little bit while we're walking. And then all of a sudden he stops and he goes something. It was a question about what bourbon I like to drink or something like that. And I was like, where did that question come up from? Why would you ask that? I don't. And he's like, well, I'm listening to you and Gary and John. I'm like, wait a minute, how are you listening? So he had done a sync to my computer, and it saved all of the all of our recordings onto his phone. So he sat there and listened to all of our recordings. And at the end, I was, I was kind of concerned a little bit. I was like, so what do you think? As a 12-year-old, he's like, I'm kind of sad that it's over. I wanted to see where you guys were going with this. Like, oh, okay.
We're popular with the 12-year-olds. So
yes, we've got something.
Everyone's got to find their own audience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're golden. Yes. So, all right.
All right. Well, that's going to end this this episode of the Brian Lennon Show. As always, thanks to my co-host Gary McDaniel, our special guest tonight, Paul McKendry.
Thanks.
And enjoy the rest of the week. See you next week on the Brian Lennon Show.